Ho!
Hi guys! Thanks for joining us live for Advanced Weekly Update.
Right, it is Advanced Weekly Update Live. We're so glad that you have joined us once again. We really loved all the comments that we got from our last video. Thank you guys so much for interacting with us, telling us what you think, and sharing your thoughts.
Yes, so anytime today, write into us, ask us questions, all right? And we have Archie over here, and she's going to give us those questions to read and to try and answer. But before we get to that, we have something very important. We talked about this last week.
Yes, we did.
And it's all about love. The journey of love, right there. Can you see that, guys? That is happening this week, this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Right. Get your tickets. Just Google The Journey of Love and go to the website, purchase your tickets. It's right here in Taipei. It's all about Doris Brome's life story, and you'll learn a lot more about all the things that she's done here in Taiwan. And so there's a lot to learn there, so be sure to come to that. We will be there.
That's right. We're going to be there. Forget which days are you going to be there?
I will be there on Friday and Sunday. That's the plan.
Me too, actually.
All right. Boom. Advanced team right there. So be sure to come out and don't forget to get your tickets. Purchase those ahead of time.
Yes,
all right.
Please get your ticket before you try to come in and sit down.
That's right.
I don't know if they're selling tickets at the door. They probably are. So
I don't know, but go to the website and they will tell you more there. All right. Okay, so this week we are in the middle of January. It's January 17th today.
17th. Boy, I tell you, it is a kind of a chilly, gray January day.
Yeah, it's raining outside right now. I hope you brought your umbrella back from lunch.
Yeah.
And
just real quick, Brandon, how many umbrellas have you lost in Taipei?
172.
I think I'm 173.
I have no idea. You know what? I started to buy bigger umbrellas, thinking I wouldn't like leave them behind, and maybe that's true. But then it's kind of more fun to carry those around.
Yeah, then you have a big umbrella that you carry.
So I don't know.
Life is hard.
I just give up. I'll survive. All right. So what do we have going on this week, David?
Well, we got a couple of articles that I think are great.
Yeah.
We're talking about space junk, fatherhood, and bird watching.
Woohoo! Yes. That's what a variety there.
We're all about variety.
Space junk, keeping space clean. All right. So if you all know David at all, you know he loves to talk about space.
I do love talking about space.
All right. So what is this article all about? Inspire us.
Okay, so basically this article on space junk is all about how these young guys are trying to find a cost-efficient way to ensure that satellites, once they are disbanded or no longer in use, don't remain in orbit spinning around the Earth and creating the threat of possibly getting broken up into smaller pieces and turning into really hazardous tiny chunks of space debris that could destroy everything from rocket ships that are going up to other satellites that are in operation, or even more dangerously, endangering the lives of people in like the International Space Station or other manned space, low orbit living humans.
Right, and just think about it. Like we often talk about satellites going up, right?
Yeah.
And so all of that, it gets congested. You don't think about it. You think it's out there beyond Earth, and so it's just massive, which it is, but still, there's a lot of junk out there.
Yeah, and actually, there have been some satellite images taken of that have been taken of all the debris. And this is not, and when we talk about space debris, we're not at this point talking about just old satellites and stuff that could, that is a hole that's still floating around. We're talking more about the tiny pieces that seem harmless when you just think, oh, it's just like some little thing floating around in space. No, if it's in low orbit, it's actually traveling at hundreds of thousands of feet per second. Really fast. So that means that something the size of your water bottle hits the International Space Station and the whole thing explodes. It just cuts right through like a bullet. And if you look at satellite images of how much junk is floating around in orbit of Earth, it's actually really crazy. There's so much.
Yeah, so they're trying to clean it up. They have some creative ways that they're looking at doing that. So be sure to check out our space article for more on that.
That's right.
But the next article coming up in a couple of days is one we want to highlight this week. It's called the Dovetail Project, which is a fascinating project. They are helping men, helping fathers actually in particular, to really know how to father better. Maybe they didn't learn that so much from their dads. And so they have these community projects where they are inspiring fathers and helping them with things like parenting skills and life skills and other things. And so this is one of those articles that you read and it makes you maybe think about your own father and also makes you think about the need to educate and inspire fathers. I think we all can learn, whether we're a father or not, we can learn new skills and things and learn from other people. And so that's what the Dovetail Project is about. And they're especially focused on the Black and Latino families there, fathers ages 17 to 24. And you think, wow, that's some people are fathers at a very young age, and maybe they're not equipped to do that. And so this program is there to help with that.
Yeah, and it's a really beautiful program because it shows how you're not alone when you're going into this process. There should be a community of people around you. If your family can't be there, other people in your extended family can't be there for you the way that you would love for them to be, projects like this kind of unite people with a community of support. Because there is, in certain populations in the U.S., there are communities where there are very few fathers, right? Where fathers maybe are either in prison or they don't stay with the woman that they have their children with, and they kind of go away. And then the kids growing up in that environment, it's easy for them to just do the same thing that their fathers did. So when they become fathers, what example do they have to go on? Well, that's the reason why they started this organization, is to provide a community of people that can kind of help each other have a positive example to look to have an idea of what it looks like to be a good father, so that they can influence the coming generation. So then it's not 2-3 generations of broken families.
Absolutely. And so, as you think about your own father, and we think about our fathers, we want to ask you some positive things that you've learned. Now, we can all talk about positive things, or we can talk about things that maybe weren't so positive, and we're all affected by that. But we want to focus on the positive things, because having a father in the home is very important. We've had other articles where we have statistics saying that kids do better in math class, for example. And all of these different things, fathers play a huge role. And of course, we know that mothers do as well. But sometimes the father is not present, and that really has a big effect on the kids' lives. And so that's what we're highlighting this week. So we want to focus on some positive things that your dad has done that has impacted you. And that is our question of the week. It will come up on the screen there. How has your father impacted you in a positive way? What do you think, David? What's something that your dad has done that has impacted you in a positive manner?
There are so many things that I'm sure I could bring up. One thing, though, that often comes to mind is that I think he gave me the ability to think through ideas, right? Like, I guess, like the ability to discern. Because when I was, especially in high school, I started getting into a lot of really crazy different philosophies, and I was looking for truth. Even though I grew up in a Christian home, I still had this hunger to understand what is true to me. I know it's true to my family and the way I grew up, but what's true to me? And through a beautiful process, God did lead me back to himself. But one of the ways that he did that was by giving me a father who would help me to engage these different ideas, like help me to look at this thing. Okay, so what's this idea? What's it made of? What parts of this idea are true? What parts seem like they fall apart? How does the Bible speak to it, right? And those tools that he gave me helped me to navigate through my years in college, and then even to this day, still I'm so thankful for the way that my dad taught me how to discern truth from lines.
So it sounds like, David, that he taught you to think critically about this. Yeah,
exactly.
So to ask questions, not just to take everything at face value, right? And so that's amazing. And that's a gift, right, that your father gave you, and you've implemented it. Sometimes maybe our parents are trying to teach us something, but we're not very receptive, right? And so that's something to think about on our part as well. It sounds like you're receptive and you reap the benefits of that. And that's a beautiful thing, right? So when I think about my dad, I think he taught me the meaning of hard work. Like I think about even now, he's semi-retired, but he still, works whenever he can, right? And I think that's important, right? To have that instilled in you, to be a hard worker, to show up at work and do your best and that sort of thing. And so I'm thankful for those things that he has instilled in me, right? And I think that's really important. So there's a lot of things that maybe our parents didn't do, and sometimes we focus on that more than on the things that they actually did do, right? And so, and maybe, we're all imperfect and we all have areas of improvement, and maybe we even need to forgive our parents for those things and try to understand from their own perspective, right?
Yeah, actually.
They grew up in a different time. It doesn't mean, they shouldn't have done something. Yeah, they should have done something a certain way. That's true. But maybe they didn't know, right? So it's important to kind of think about these concepts as well. And as David was talking about thinking critically, we need to think about this situation in that manner as well, but also be thankful for the good things that they passed on.
That's right. Wow, that's beautiful, Brad.
Yeah.
Thank you. And so I hope that you guys take that to heart, and please do look at answer the question of the week in the comments below.
Yes.
Tell us some of your experiences. Share with us what is some way that you were impacted in a positive way by your father. And I think you're so right. Sometimes it is about us needing to forgive and understand.
Absolutely. So a lot to think about as you read this month's Society article. You don't just read the article and say that's nice. Think about what it means for yourself, or what questions you can ask yourself maybe about your own family, right? And so I think that will be more impactful, because maybe you don't relate to everything that's here, but you do relate maybe to the overall theme. That's right. All right. So we thank you guys for watching this week. Remember, if you haven't gotten your tickets yet to the Journey of Love, go ahead and do that.
That's right.
Go online, search the Journey of Love. And we hope that you guys are able to come out, and we will see you there.
That's right.
We'll be there on Friday and Sunday. There's also a show on Saturday, so you can go then too if that's a better time for you. Well, thank you guys for watching this week's update, and we'll be here next week. When?
That's right. 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock, same time.
Same place.
Same place. See you guys.
See you later.